I was just saying it feels like we haven't spoken in ages, even though it's the same exact time that we wait every time. But
every time. 60% of the time, it works every time.
Oh, it's 2 weeks. I always wait 2 weeks. But yeah, it's been a busy old couple of weeks, but we're back.
We're
ready.
So,
Push the point episode, whatever it is. I have no idea off the top of my head.
This is one we're going to grow into. I can feel
60.
it.
Is it not 60?
It is.
Oh, I don't believe it to be 60.
It's true. It's true. So let's kick it off with some home news, everyone. As you all know,
Home news. Yeah.
Home news. So, Trip.
Yes.
Give us some home news.
Sorry, I totally wasn't just doing the wheel of names because I realised I forgot to do it before the start.
Oh yes, we should definitely.
I don't know. It's good. We'll do it after home. We'll make people wait a little bit longer.
If you're a patron, we give away 6 packs of the latest set, which currently all we got at the minute is Dusk Till Dawn. We should be getting some bright lights soon. So our patrons, one random lucky patron will get 6 packs. But you'll also get 10% off of Thistle Tavern, and if you want to know any upcoming stuff that's coming from Metal Fab Tokens, well, you'll be the first to know. And I don't know about.
We don't know what else.
We don't know. I mean,
we can talk about that later.
We don't know what's happened. Well, with other.
We know nothing.
We don't really know much about what's going on, but Living Realms is our partner as well, who they did kind of give us the box. So there you go. Anyway,
yeah, the packs still come from Living Realms, but we'll reveal the winner after the home news and the drinks. So you have to wait a little bit longer if you want to.
Home news.
So what have I been up to? Well, the main thing was my birthday was last week.
Wow, happy birthday!
I turned the grand old age of 31.
Wow.
Personally, I am a big fan of my 30s so far. I've been enjoying my 30s. So long may the 30s continue. We were chatting about this. We were saying when you're 20, you don't really know what you do with your life, and you're not really got a huge amount of money. And I don't really have a huge amount of money in my 30s, but I certainly have a lot more than I did when I was in my 20s. So
you have enough to spend on card games.
I mean, you have to have you have a little bit of money. Anyone with a Flesh and Blood podcast, please have a little bit of money, because otherwise you're going to spend it all on Fab.
I think it's because you just don't go out tearing the town, like playing, working for the weekend. And when you work for the weekend, you shovel all your money down, the landlord's throat. Because
that's it. It's renting. Renting is the real.
Oh, no, he meant the pub landlords.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, you mean that? Yeah. Well, I mean that's. Well, I was going to say, Hamish, you were just saying that. Well, I did some stuff on my birthday, and then went to the pub on Friday, and then I went to the pub. I went for brunch on Saturday, of course, followed by the pub on
brunch.
Saturday. No, we decided not to. We mathed it out. It's getting to a point in society where you just can't. When you can't trust a bottomless brunch anymore, you're just like.
What a shame!
I just bought 3 cocktails with the money I would have spent on upgrading my brunch. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna expand my horizons with some nice cocktails. And then I went to the pub, and I had it was like a ginger daiquiri. That was pretty good.
Ooh,
that was very good. And after I finished my brunch, I had a espresso martini as a little
good choice. Yeah.
And then my last drink was what they were calling an aqua velvet, but what it really was a Blue Lagoon, but in a fancy glass. And I was like, it came on the table when everyone else has got their like margaritas and like fancy cocktails, and I've just got this luminous blue drink, and it was. I want to say it was a good cocktail. It just tasted nice. It tasted like WKD, a fancy WKD. So. Yeah, it was pretty good. And I wasn't even hungover on Saturday, so I'm clearly not that old. So I clearly still got it, because I don't know what happened, but I think I watched the rugby, which was the rugby was too close.
It was tense.
It was annoying because we were never going to win, and I would have been fine if we just got stomped. But then we did a lot better than we were meant to, and I was like, oh no, we could have actually won.
I think we were outgamed by the South Africans.
Oh yeah. we had a
watched
plan.
it and we were winning.
The
and
last
the
20
second
minutes.
I tuned in, I was like, normally when I watch a sports game, the team I want to win lose, and I was like, well, let's see what England's doing. We're winning, and now Hamish is tuned in.
Yeah. So, for anyone not au fait, the Rugby World Cup's on at the moment. It's in France, and England got to the semi-finals and just lost to South Africa
by 1 point.
And basically, they were doing really well. They played their game plan to perfection up until the point where they had to sub off two of their most important players, who were props, and they were very good in the scrum. And England's scrum fell to pieces. South Africa took advantage, scored a try and a couple of penalties to take the lead in the last 2 minutes. But it does give some hope for the future. Anyway, that's enough rugby.
I think no. The thing where, like I said to my friend, she's a massive rugby fan. She's also from New Zealand, so it makes sense. I mean, we're just saying, if you don't score a try in rugby, like what are you going to do? Like, it's really hard to win a game if you don't score a try. And England didn't score a try. So.
It's a kicking game, yeah. And they
it's
played
not a kicking game.
They played a kicking game. And they
anyway,
played
that
their
was
game plan well.
That was fun. I got to talk about. You guys always get to talk about NFL, so that's that.
Absolutely,
I get to talk about rugby.
I like rugby.
Yeah, I love rugby. I played it at school as well. I think the main thing that puts people off rugby is just knowing the rules. And once you know the rules, it's great. If you don't know what's going on, it can be very like, what the hell is going on? Why are they doing that? Why?
Which is weird because most people don't know
that happening and like
all the rules to football, but people still love football. So
it's not. Well, football's easy. Anyway, Simon,
it is.
What about your home news? Oh, I'll tell you what. I've got your name wrong for this whole time. There you go. Let me just quickly.
Are we in the wrong place?
No, you're in the right place.
Was I an interview guest?
There we go. Yes, you were. You were called Daniel for a bit.
Daniel Correas.
Yeah, there you go. So that's just what.
I mean, I'd take the upgrade in my fab ability, that's for sure. For my home news, I had my sister visiting this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Which was absolutely delightful, and we went out to a trampoline park. Now, Hamish, you'll be well versed in this kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. So we have a place near us called Red Kangaroo, and it is basically like a conference center hall-sized space, but filled with trampoline like squares. Yeah. And on one side there are foam pits for like a Ninja Warrior thing, and on one side there are foam pits for like a gladiator sparring thing, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Like, you go in, you think it's going to be hell, and it is, because your kids are just running around bouncing all over the place and causing chaos. But then you can also go and bounce on the trampolines, and it's quite a lot of fun.
Do you think?
I see Hamish enjoyed my story so much.
No, sorry. And you think that it's gonna be, you're like, that's only like 45 minutes.
Oh,
and then
absolutely shattered by the
10 minutes.
Everyone
you're
comes
destroyed.
Yeah,
like, it's a 45 minutes.
You forget that you don't really use muscles for trampoline bouncing in everyday life, and you come off and you're like, oh, my legs are broken.
Oh, it is.
But it was good fun, and it was good to see my nephew, good to see my sister. They're both doing really well. They actually went home today because it's half term, so they stayed like for a long weekend. And yeah, the cousins get. I just think it's really nice when cousins get to see each other. We live quite far away from most of our family, 4 hours drive. So when the cousins get together and they play really nicely, and they're all about the same age, and it's just really lovely. It reminds me of like when Hamish was talking about his family holiday in the car, and you remember back to when you were in the car going on holiday. Like, I remember playing with my cousins and them coming over and me going over there. Yeah. And it just takes you back to that childhood memory stage where you're like, oh, this is so good. They're going to be friends. And
bit of nostalgia.
Yeah, a bit of nostalgia. So
lovely.
I had a really lovely weekend.
Awesome.
How about you, Hamish?
Well, just been just going through, usual stuff at work, and I've been really busy playing a lot of Teamfight Tactics.
Is this what TFT stand for?
Yeah,
Teamfight Tactics.
Yeah.
Teamfight Tactics.
It's not a new game. It's reasonably old in the gaming world, and
pretty old.
So it started because we've got a little group of people who play Fab a lot. We've got Shin, Finbar, Dyson, Mark Henderson, and us three, and Jason, and God, I've now said it, so now I've got to name everyone, and
You just keep going.
oh yeah, and Jamie, and so on and so forth. Right. Anyway, so and Jake, regular raccoon. So we were all having a chat, going, why don't we all just meet up and play a different game? You know, just something totally different. Let's just do something like as friends. And everyone was pitching in different ideas. I said, why don't we play Age of Empire 2? And Trip was like, I'm up for it.
What a game.
Yeah.
What a game.
So we're just trying to find something. And then, then TFT came up. And I was like, I don't know. Shim was a bit like, I don't know. Mate, we're hooked, and we can't get enough of it. And Darren Hazelden as well. We're hooked. We can't get enough of it. And I even played solo. I even played ranked. I even brought the battle pass.
Oh, you spent money on it.
I spent money.
What is it? What format are we talking about here?
It's
Switch.
It's
on pretty much everything, right? Well, I mean, it's on PC and mobile, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah. So it's basically kind of like a draft where you got like commons, rares, and everything, and they're heroes, and you're building a board up, and they fight each other automatically, but where you place them on the board, the synergies the heroes have with each other, the items you attach to them, you're kind of like you ever played a deck builder, Simon? Like,
is it a bit like Marvel Snap? Not that I played that, but
no, because you build it beforehand. This is like you're building your board state up as you're playing. So you get start with a bunch of heroes, and then it'll go, okay, here's 5, and then you can buy them, or you can press the the spit, like the rotate it, like I'm going to move these on and find another random selection. But you're trying to build up gold as you're winning. Your health, you can lose games because you can trade, like when you play Flab, you can trade health. Sometimes your health is a resource. So sometimes you can lose games, but you could eat the money that you save builds up. So you're building up for a late game. So there's early games, mid games, late games. So I think you'd like it, to be fair. There's quite a lot of depth behind it, and you all start on an even playing field every single time.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good sort of game to chat shit with because you're not in control of the actual fighting. It's not like you need to, you got that bit where
you don't have to be. It's not like WoW where you're raiding and everyone.
Yeah,
has
when
to be
that's
on
done,
form.
you can just sit back and watch, right, and just see how you guys. There's time to like sit back because I played Dota chess because I think Dota chess was like the first this auto battler genre, and then that was like a mod, and then a bunch of different ones came out, and I think TFT was like the more
League of Legends version of it.
But a bit more in depth than what that ended up coming out of some of the other ones, and it uses the League heroes, so like identifiable. I mean, the Dota chess one uses the Dota heroes, but yeah, I always enjoy playing it. I haven't played with you guys yet because it's been a busy couple of weeks.
Have you been playing it a little bit?
I haven't.
No,
I'm gonna jump in when I have some free time.
Here's a funny thing, right? Here's a funny thing. So me and Shin started at the same time, and now there's a running meme. Everyone has won because you have 8 players, and so you can come 8th to first. Everyone has came first, apart from me. I've never won one. I've come, and Shin says,
"Where's my tiny violin?"
Shin says, "Always the bridesmaid, never the bride." I am consistently 3rd or 2nd. And then Dyson really annoyed me the other day because he was going to win and then he conceded and went, "Oh, look, Hamish, you've won." So I was like, you stole.
You deprived me of
my first. It's like you just took my virginity. And I was like, not like this. Not like
this.
No, I wanted it.
I want to start playing now so I can do the exact same thing.
If you win,
it'll kick off. No, I'll concede.
Simon probably will want to join just to go. Say, I've won one, Hamish, haven't you? Anyway, so that's my home news. Should we?
That's your home news.
Can we open a beer? So
yeah, let's do it. You can start.
Go on, Hamish. What are you drinking?
Oh, thank you, Simon. So, I finally going to crack open Barry's Yorkshire Pudding Beer.
Hey,
good choice.
Thank you, Barry, for handing this over. We got this when we went to the calling, and Trip gave his verdict on it. and
it was all right.
I'm going to give you mine. What about you, Mr. Mustache and Beard Simon?
Yeah, well, I was gifted today, in fact, gifted a beer by a friend, and I'm not on call, so I get to drink it.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Is there some sort of elaborate home story news to
Oh,
this?
right. Coffee stout.
No,
Yes.
I went to
so
Whitby.
a friend and I, no, I went to Whitby. A friend and I, we exchange Brewdog beers, and we often go and have lunch like in Brewdog Bar in Nottingham. And he just came back and he said, "This is a really nice one," and I thought you'd like it, so he gave it to me. And he didn't know I was doing a podcast tonight, but it's worked out really well. So it's a coffee stout brewed with ethically sourced coffee, and it's 6%.
Cool. And what about you, Crotch? I think you're starting to get a bit of a twirly evil mustache, little wild card
Yeah,
trip.
it's starting to twirl. I'm
going for it.
Going for it. It's all the beer I've been drinking.
Craft beer mustache.
I've got a Guinness. It's not the most fascinating drink ever, but it's all right. I do have my Dead Man's Drink Skyrim tankard. I don't know if I've actually used this one on the podcast.
Cheeky.
Yet, but, most obscure. It's in Valkyrie for any Skyrim fans. Don't know why they made one from the.
That's
Valkyrie.
Nice.
But
so I took a sip of this Yorkshire pudding beer, made with real Yorkshire puddings, and the winner of the Audi of the next big thing, and tastes like a beer.
That was my response as well.
Surprisingly, they had a lot of Yorkshire pudding beer on sale in Whitby.
Oh, there you go.
It was everywhere.
It was everywhere.
I don't know why.
Dump it.
They just like it now, don't they?
The Yorkshire Pudding Beer Brewery. Right, Simon.
Right,
that's actually a really nice coffee stout. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, indeed.
Cheers, everyone.
Before we press on,
we
have some results, do we?
So
we have a winner.
It's another well-known name. Another well-known
name. Well, that's because our patrons are all well known.
Yeah.
They are. That is actually very true. I will give you both one guess. It's a well-known name. Who do you reckon it is, Simon? There's also a good guess of do you know who our patrons are? So there we go.
A well-known name on our Patreon.
You can jump in, Hamish, if you've got
Jack Raven.
Oh, good guess. Very good guess from Simon there, Jack Raven. Hamish, what do you reckon it is?
I'm going to go with the regular raccoon himself, Jake.
Oh, both very strong guesses. Well, I'll say
both wrong.
Jake was the closest because Jake is also a judge occasionally. And the winner was none other than long time friend of the podcast, James Armstrong. Judge James.
The head
guy
judge
says
himself.
He never wins anything. Well done, James. You won yourself 6 packs of Dust Till Dawn. So
Dust Till Dawn.
They'll be on your way once I get your address. So thank you for being a patron, and thank you to all our patrons
Simon,
for supporting the podcast.
You could just sling it to Simon, I bet, couldn't you?
You could send it to me if you still have my address, but you could send it direct to make him feel special, Hamish.
Yeah.
Rather than just sending it second hand.
Oh, well, no, he doesn't deserve that.
Well done, James, and thanks for your long time support there.
An amazing head judge, and basically one of the leading figureheads of the judge community in the UK scene. Everyone, this guy is awesome. Right, what is on tonight's schedule, Mr. Simon?
Yeah.
Well, I want to know from you two how you've been getting on with the Bright Lights so far, because obviously we've started the ProQuest season this weekend just gone, but I'm also looking ahead now to Worlds in Barcelona. So those are my two big topics for the night.
Okay, cool.
So on that note, then, are you two doing any ProQuest, and how have you found things so far with your testing?
Trip.
Yeah, good question. I have not gone to any ProQuest, which is the first time, and we were talking about this before the podcast started. Because I was saying to the guys, this is the issue with the sort of one Pro Tour, or at least the one location for Pro Tour in the year. Because I'll be honest, when I knew it was in America, I was like, I'm not going to be able to go. And then when I found out I was in LA, I was like, I definitely wouldn't have been able to go just because of the cost wise. And I'll be honest, it has put a bit of a dampener on my kind of excitement about Bright Lights, because haven't gone straight into the progress. Now I played 2, 3 pre-releases. I still did a load of pre-releases, which is what I normally do. And I thought the set was really interesting. But I've not sat down and thought about the set. Also, I was meant to get a case of Bright Lights that has not arrived yet. Not gonna say any more about that. That was also sort of limited because I've not had that like initial like opening of the product and being like, okay, this looks really cool, or I've got that legendary, I'm going to build this kind of hero. And it's kind of like set me back a little bit. Now, I think the other thing is, I'll pass on to Hamish in a second, but like the other thing is that I know that Worlds is around the corner. So I've kind of been like almost saving myself for Worlds because I know at Worlds I'm going to play a lot. And I really want to play, I want to do as much as I possibly can at Worlds. Like I'm planning on just doing like as many side events as I can. For a while I was trying to decide like, do I want to play the calling or do I want to play like just every
just
side
all the side events?
I think I will play the calling, but like I'm very open to like dropping for the calling if I'm not doing well enough and just going straight into side events and things like that. I just want to be really flexible and really enjoy that. So for me, it feels like Bright Lights has not really grabbed me the same way that other sets have. And like, I don't think that's just because it's a mech only set. I think it's a lot of different factors that just hasn't grabbed me the same way the other sets have. But maybe Hamish can also comment on all that.
I think I don't want to speak for all of you, but I kind of also know that we're all in the same boat. I haven't managed to grab my box yet either, so I haven't had anything to open. I'm also kind of rolling on the motion on what have I got coming up. I'm not playing Worlds. The calling isn't CC, and the Battle Harden is a Living Legend format. So the only real CC game I've got coming up for me at the minute is this weekend's ProQuest. Well, no, it's this weekend's ProQuest. And I'm not really that fussed about the ProQuest. I just kind of enjoy wanting to go to a tournament and play the game physically, because you guys know that I can't actually play. I don't play this game physically, like
very often.
If mostly at all. So I'm looking forward to this weekend playing it, but I'm kind of also like, I'm not really super inspired by the new heroes. We're still riding on this same meta of Lexi, so it's kind of like, okay. So it's fine in terms of I'm kind of just sort of looking at this and seeing where things will go, ready for Heavy Hitters, the new set that's been thrown out.
Which is pretty exciting too, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's got some potential.
Yeah, I'm kind of just watching some of my sort of international peers do their thing and seeing what the meta does. Kind of like just, when you're watching the NFL, I'm not going to be able to play it, but I'm just enjoying seeing how things are sort of shaping up and, I guess I don't have a team to root for. That's the only sort of thing. I'm just intrigued by what the meta is doing. And that's about it.
It's interesting.
But Bright Lights is, I think Tekla Vossen was kind of really cool to start up, but I
think it's going to be a slow burn.
Yeah, it'll come round. It'll come round, but yeah.
I think it's really interesting talking about being a spectator again, because that was the first thing that came to mind when we started talking about this. Is I've really enjoyed being able to take a set off. I've really enjoyed the fact that I don't have the pressure of going to all the ProQuest, because I'm not desperate to be in LA for the Pro Tour next year. And I am really enjoying being a spectator of the current meta. So looking at the results coming out of the Battle Hardens and looking forward to who's going to be on form for Worlds, knowing that I'm not going to be in Worlds. Like, my last chance to get a qualification for Worlds was at the PTI event at Nationals, and I lost in the final. The proceeds from the gold foil we split are going towards paying for my Worlds ticket, and I just bought a Fabled package that last week. So I'm on it. I'm going to be playing the calling. I'm going to be playing all these side events, but I'm enjoying it sounds weird, doesn't it? I'm actually enjoying the feeling of being slightly outside and watching from a viewpoint where I've not got anything in the game right now. I don't feel like I've opened 8 packs of bright lights, 1 pre-release and a sealed armory.
I've opened none.
And I got
I was going to go to the pre-release.
I got a legendary though.
Oh, did you?
Hey. I got a singularity.
Oh, that's really cool.
Non-Marvel singularity. Yeah.
I think what's kind of stumped the excitement, I guess. And I don't think it's bright lights or anything's fault, but Dusk Till Dawn really didn't land, did it?
I was going to say that. That's just what I was going to.
Dusk Till Dawn was, I think, for me and Trip, like that was coming, I think I don't know about you. I'm probably speaking for you, but you were. I'm taking the chain love that you had and my Bolton love I have and all this sort of stuff, but
it didn't really do anything for those heroes.
It didn't do anything, and Levia was really transformed, and even that.
But then didn't perform.
That was literally the best thing that happened was Levia, and even she hasn't done it.
I wish they'd been able to achieve some kind of limited format for Dusk Till Dawn, because I think that the set just passed us by, and it was really a shame because it kind of the way it ended up happening with Monarch becoming the draft set for Nationals is not only did Dusk Till Dawn come in and it didn't really hit the same way, it also sort of curtailed the sealed experience from Outsiders, which was some people don't like it, some people do, but I kind of enjoyed it, and I would have liked to have played more of it before it got pushed to the side for Monarch, which was really sad.
Having a 6-hero limited format was pretty awesome, actually, having that variety and those options. And you're right, it was a very short season of competitive play. I think we've got to get used to that,
though, because I think Bright Lights is going to do the same. That's going to feel really
absolutely
short.
I don't mind.
I agree, but it then went into Monarch Draft, and there was quite a long time of Monarch Draft, which we've already had. And I know,
was there a long time?
I know not.
Draft?
It did feel like quite a long, because we had the calling build up, and everything from about May onwards became Monarch Draft because it was going to be the Nationals event.
Yeah, I found that with our local armory, and
it moved on from Outsiders very quickly.
It can the thing of it is in the UK at least, and in a lot of places, well, not everywhere in the UK, but it can be quite hard sometimes to get enough people for a draft. And one of the best ways that you can get enough people for a draft is to make the draft the whatever the next competitive draft is. So as soon as Monarch was announced, it was like no one really wanted to do Outsiders anymore because the competitive players just wanted to practice so much Monarch, and it's the same now with Bright Lights. No one wants to do any of the other sets because they want to. It's good competitive practice for Bright Lights. I don't mind. I think Hamish is right. It is something we've got to get used to. But it kind of felt like because we didn't have a new sealed experience with Dusk Till Dawn, it felt like it was a sacrifice.
It was their OP,
and we didn't really get much out of it. But I think it's a one-off. I think there seems to be some kind of. I know they've said that Dusk Till Dawn was not meant to be a sealed set, but I can't.
No, I think the Outsiders feeling short was that when they announced Outsiders, the organized play attached to it was more international. So when they went, but your Nationals will be using Monarchs, and it was weird because it's a really old set, so it's available. So you kind of got it's kind of like a one-off only thing, I can imagine, of where normally they probably would have said, your next draft set would be Nationals, and we're like, well, we can't practice for something we don't have. But this one was the first time they went, well, we're going to use Monarch, and it's out. And Outsiders,
it's interesting.
And you're like, but Outsiders, our season of Outsiders is done. The international events are not what we're bothered about. We can just grab some Monarch and go. Yeah. So Outsiders really did probably half its life.
Well, they showed they learned a lesson from the Uprising limited season, because that was around for 5 or 6 months, right?
That was.
So I feel like they were trying to avoid. Yeah, I feel like they were trying to avoid that length of a season. So they announced that the next one was going to be Monarch, but again,
it's the first time they did.
There weren't the event structures around it,
and it was an old set you can do.
And it was an old set.
Whereas Heavy Hitters is going to be the new draft thing for the next season, but we can't draft it because it's not out.
I feel sadly, I feel there was also a financial incentive for LSS and game stores to use Monarch. So for Welcome to Wraith, we had a farewell Welcome to Wraith blowout where they got rid of all of their unlimited boxes and made use of that printed product. And that was really nice. We got the cold foils, and it was a really good series of events to be a part of. We've not done that with Arcane Rising because I think they didn't print as much, or it was bought much more. Arcane Rising Unlimited.
It's also not a very good draft set.
You say that. I've got a lot of nostalgia for that set. I love its bits, but yes, I agree that it's
the thing is the
slightly fundamentally flawed.
Arcane's got Command and Conquer in it, so you're always going to shift a few boxes just from people chasing that card. So.
And then Monarch Unlimited did not sell well at all because when it was released as Unlimited, there were still first edition boxes in the shops. And they printed a lot of first edition. The price tanked. People were able to buy it quite readily after the initial buzz. And then a lot of stores and distributors, especially, were just left with a huge amount of Monarch Unlimited. So there was a good reason to get rid of it. And I feel like the national season got rid of a lot of the first edition that was laying around, and all of the practice drafts and other events got rid of the Unlimited, which is probably a slightly skeptical view, but
looking forward to looking forward to a Tales of Aria draft coming up next.
Well, this is the thing.
I'd be kind of like we just said, like you might not do it again, but I wouldn't be against the like a Dust Till Dawn Tales set at some point, and Tales of Aria being a draft, because that draft was fun. I mean, we all burnt out on it. I think we got to the point where we were just sick of it.
It was Nationals, first Nationals, wasn't it?
We played a lot.
I remember getting absolutely shafted by Hamish to no fault of his own. To no fault of his own, it was a great game in which he dominated me 3 turns in a row and I died. That was about the extent. 5 turns in a row. All right. Sorry,
just
Hamish.
The way it goes.
It was.
But anyway,
we
shouldn't spend too much time talking about the past, but talking about like what's coming up and the set that we have at the moment. I think I agree with Hamish. I think that the Dust Till Dawn was a bit of I'm going to call it a disappointment, and I actually don't think that Bright Lights is a disappointment. But I don't think Bright Lights has just brought me back up to like a good level again. But I'm waiting for something to then take me back into the like. I've not had the feeling of like I have to play this hero in Fab for a while. Max I like the look of, but it's not the same. And like I haven't had that for a few sets now, and I'm really looking forward to seeing something which is just like bam, that's the hero I want to play this season.
How do you feel about the calling at Worlds being sealed?
I don't think it's a good idea.
I think I am not excited about it. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm willing to play it. I'm willing to. Well, I mean, I'm saying I might not even play it, but like, I did not enjoy Bright Lights Sealed much at all. It didn't really click for me. It just feels like.
How many times have you played Sealed? How many pods have you done?
Well, it's not really a pod, is it? I guess I did 3.
How many opening have you done?
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
And I found them to be. It's like it had the kind of it had the bad thing of like uprising with it just like most people playing the aggro deck because they didn't have the cards to play the control deck, and then you just have a load of aggro mirrors, just like fire mirrors in the past, which were just not fun in Sealed. They weren't even that much fun in Draft. And then you've just got did I open the Evo, and importantly like the Evo relevant cards as well. And then if you do that, it just becomes a blocking game. And I found that Dash was a little bit too unreliable in Sealed. I think Dash in Draft is good, but in Sealed, it just was very hard to put together. And I don't understand how that's meant to work for a calling format when it just feels like there's so much variance in terms of what cards you open. Like I understand not wanting to do a draft at a 100-person or 200, 300, 400-person plus tournament, but just make it CC. Like I feel like that's what the people want. There's no C, and you said we have to play Living Legend. Then it's like that's not the same. Like there's no major CC tournament at Worlds, and like I'm fine with that. I enjoy drafting, and I'll play a bunch of shitty sealed. Like I enjoy a bit of like bullshit seals where it's just a bit bullshit. But at a calling when everyone's tryharding, like it just feels a bit more like I can't even really enjoy this in terms of like I opened a bunch of crap, whatever. We're just gonna have a fun time. Just that extra pressure of being like, oh, these people are taking it super seriously, so I can't even be like having a fun game kind of thing. But I don't know, maybe what do you guys think? I'm pretty upfront. I don't like it, but that doesn't mean I don't. I've said this
So
it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea because the set's actually works out quite well in a sealed. In fact, it's probably the most it's the best sealed set they've ever made because everything kind of there's no dead card. So in theory, it's really good. The problem is, well,
the variants in the packs, right?
It's like Diablo 4. I'm sure this is good, but I ain't playing it.
It wasn't good either.
No, there you go. So, but do you know what I mean? I'm sure it's good, but it's just not my type of game. So, I mean, it's not. I feel not negative to the set. It's just not my jam.
I feel like over two. I've only done 2 events with it, and it was very much like, yes, if you open 4 or more Evos, just go and some scrap, go tech low. If you don't, go max and see how you get on. Because Dash unless you open 3 boom grenades or so, Dash isn't going to be
I do think there's a little bit more. I also truly believe there is a lot more nuance to it, and the person who is
100%
working out the seal, which isn't us, so we're going to have a.
But they're going to be the people in the top second day draft, 2 drafts, whatever on the Sunday,
sealed, isn't it?
No, it's not. There's day 2 is draft.
I can't. You're finding more reasons why I'm just definitely not spending money on this.
So there's 8 or 9 rounds of Swiss on the Saturday, which is day 1, and then either the top 64, top 72, top 80, or all X2 participants will advance. So it depends on who starts day 1, depending on the numbers. And if you advance to day 2, basically the top 64 or so are going to enter into 6 rounds of Swiss Bright Lights Booster draft.
Okay. Well,
and then there's a top 8.
Yeah.
Which is draft again.
I think to probably just summarize this, because I think I want to talk about Living Legend format, right?
Okay, let's summarize.
To summarize on this is the set's not bad. It's just it's just not our threes.
It's not our jam.
It's not really our jam. So it's kind of and we haven't got any events, so a little bit like
But as Trip has already said, I'm quite appreciating not having to go and spend a huge load of money on entering events that may or may not be lucrative, right?
We spent a lot. Well, I said I spent a lot of money.
We've got a lot of Thistle Dawn. We've put a lot of money in over 3 years,
and a lot of nothing. But anyway, the Living Legend format.
I bought. Wait before you. Wait. No. So I bought the Fabled event package for Worlds, right? And this is 170 euros, which works out about 145 quid.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, especially when you look at it. So the Fabled event voucher, the Fabled event voucher is entry into the Calling or the Battle Hardened. But I don't know what. Yeah, so I think both the Calling and the Battle Hardened are 75 euros each.
Okay, well, isn't there a Go Again package?
So we can come to that in a minute if you want. But I was just going to say, the Fabled event package includes a Calling entry, basically, if you want it to be the Calling. You get a 35 euro side event voucher, which is your silver voucher, and then you get 2 20 euro side event vouchers, which are your bronze vouchers. So that's another 75 euros 75 euros for the Calling, and then another 75 euros in side events, which makes 150 euros. And then you get 1 pack of Eye of Ophidia sleeves, you get a Figment of Protection playmat, and then you get the 3 protocol cards for your extra 20 euros.
Right.
Did you make it gold and add reception entry
You know what,
tickets for
Trip?
€60?
Do you know what? Based, and I'm sure they won't do this again, but based on last year's experience in San Jose of going to the players' reception as a player for Worlds and not getting any food because they'd run out of pizza. Oh, and by the way, we queued up for an hour and a half to get in. I didn't fancy paying €60 for that.
I bet you they're gonna do something crazy after all this, and it's gonna be like, and
100%.
everyone gets a cold foil, like
100%.
razor reflex, one of a
100%.
kind.
It will be worth going because they messed it up last year. They're gonna make it worth people's time.
That said, if it's not worth it and people are paying €60 for pizza and that does feel a little bit
I also
steep.
don't think that.
Do you know what?
I also don't think they actually like. I don't think it was just a Worlds only thing. I'm pretty sure there was lots of people there that are like, oh, I ain't going Worlds. But I mean, there's no way. There's no proof to show you. You don't need to. You just queued up and walked in. So.
For the Pro Tours, you had to register.
No. This was just a bar out.
Oh,
it was in the venue.
It was.
No, it wasn't in the
World's player.
No,
it wasn't in the venue.
No, yeah, they just opened. There was a bar. They just rented out a bar, and
yeah, but they had someone on the door checking everyone on the way in.
No, they didn't.
That was why we queued for so long because it took them ages.
Yeah. Hamish clearly didn't queue.
I did.
He did. He queued with me.
Yeah, I did.
You just walked in.
You don't show him anything.
You have to give you. Surely you gave your name.
You have to give your detail. Hamish was probably drunk by this point.
He wasn't. I just walked.
We stood there and we gave them our names. It was fine. Anyway,
they were just taking their time because they were just like, "Can we fill everyone?"
I'm 100% sure they will make it worthwhile because they messed it up a little bit last year. However, I don't fancy spending €60. And on the subject of being outside looking in slightly, I'm really looking forward to going for a drink with you guys in Barcelona. On the Thursday night. We can go and get tapas and some estrellas. And
I'm not gonna lie, that's what it's all about, really, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
We're meeting up with the boys and the girls.
And this one, I feel like if I'm hungover for calling, who cares, right? Like it's not like it's going to be a time to it's going to be a good time. It's a great city.
It's going to be a great
Barcelona
time.
is a fantastic city. I don't know when it's going to be back in Europe again. There's a lot of other regions that will LSS is going to want to hit up. A lot of regions being super supportive of the game at the moment. We're talking like Japan, Singapore, back in America for sure. Like we never know when it's going to be back. So we got to enjoy it. Barcelona's great, and I'm going to have a great time.
This would be my first calling. I'm looking forward to the atmosphere. I'm also looking forward to being free on the Friday because Trip, we've done the Pro Tour, and Hamish, we've done Worlds before where you're busy on the Friday. Yeah. I'm looking forward to playing all the side events.
Yeah, I'm going to farm tickets. It's going to be great. And also, that Figment of protection
is great.
Literally my favorite Figment art. So I'm very
It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's the best one.
Can I just say as well before? Can I just say?
You said the name.
Hamish.
Yeah.
Hamish is going to be on one for Worlds because, as we all know, Hamish likes to go and give away stuff. Hamish likes to give away free stuff.
Jeez.
And we have some little tokens of appreciation for people. So if you come and find us at Worlds and we have anything on us,
if you find Trip, he'll make. If you find Trip,
he'll make you work for it.
No, Trip will make you work for it. Simon will probably go, well, let me see if I can give you half a dice. And if you see me...
Wait, what do you mean? We haven't spoken about it yet.
Yeah, we are.
If you play... No, it's fine.
No, if you... We've got a lot of dice. I'm sure if you see me...
We're going to have a lot of
dice. We've got loads of old dice. So,
if you see us, we're just going to be like...
if you play me, you'll probably get a dice.
If you speak
are you guys going to wear your push the point polo tops?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, we might not be able to wear it all for the whole weekend, but you guys have got two. I've only got one. So the other one was two.
You've only got one?
Because Sean ordered us
two different sizes.
And I'm not a large. I'm barely a medium.
We can all wear it on one day and then it's chill.
Yeah.
Living
so
Legend.
Good. I'm very excited. Let's talk about
Living Legend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, that's probably the only thing I'm going to be practicing for.
Oh, I'm not going to practice.
I am not practice. I mean, I should practice.
I don't need
but
to practice.
Oh, I've got to get.
What?
I wanted
Okay,
to.
right.
When you're playing the best
Mish,
deck ever.
what are you playing?
What do you think?
I have a feeling I know what Trip is playing. What are you playing?
I think knowing who I'm going to play is probably
you're
more
playing-
easier than working out what
You're
Trip's
playing Bloodsheath Skeletor Viscerai,
Well, yeah, of course.
Me?
of course, and Trip is playing Starvo.
Well, yeah, I look at hands.
I still think you're going to move to Fi.
No, I'm 100% playing Starvo. Because, like, I could play Fi in CC, and I probably will go back to Fi in CC at some point. But
You'll
Starvo,
be doing the
you're
stubby
gonna play,
hammers like, whoa.
I just like to look at my hand and then be like, 1, 2, 3, yay!
How many
I got
crayons
them.
did you shove up your nose?
And
before the game
now
began?
I can also be like, yes, I will take 20 damage. Thank you very much.
Awakening.
I'll just get
Yeah,
everything I
awakening.
need.
Have you assembled the 5 pieces of Exodia?
I do think I need a couple of Starstrucks, though. I'm not sure.
I'm not
So
going to lie, Trip. I'm going to sit there with my 20 rune chants, and then I'm going
You'll
to
be
pop
fine.
Spurgechief Skeletor, and I'm going to
You'll
play
be
the new
fine.
Sonata Phantasmia, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to then generate another 10 more rune chants, discard your whole hand, and then attack
can do
with
that.
your 1 card in hand and my 30 rune chants. You can't actually stop the damage.
It'll be fine. It's all good, y'all. Just gonna hit you.
But no, serious question though.
Yeah.
Are those decks
Seriously.
fast enough? Because Lexi, with all the ball lightning stuff, is pretty fast. Fi with stubbies is pretty fast. I don't think even Chain is fast enough.
I don't think
it's about speed.
Well, I think Fi is probably more of a threat, but Starvo, because Fi can kind of 2-3 turn kill you, but Starvo can always just hit the disruption, and then that's that really. Like if you hit the Oakenolds, the Fused Oakenolds, or if you hit the Cripplings, and now if you hit the Starstrucks, you're happy. You just be like, yeah, sure, whatever, do whatever you want. You still can't, and there's a lot of tech you can run in Starvo. Like there's all the sort of weird crush cards where you're like, oh, I can't play a card with. I think like more than 3 base power now. What do I do?
But I think that's
or,
the
like
thing.
Whatever it is under 3 base power.
I think that's the interesting thing, though, isn't it? Like we can look at the like we've got a CC meta we can look at, and that's probably what's making the calling more like is because fair enough, it's sealed. We haven't done it before, but it's not like really. I don't know. There's nothing super like about it. Whereas when you're sitting there working out a living legend format like meta. And CC meta, you kind of go, there's something I can feel prepared for. I can bring something I'm attached to. I'm bringing my personalized little deck to an event. And it's just that's the way of constructed events is so much fun that you kind of bring a little bit of your own style. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to take my Coldfield weapon. I'm going to take my Coldfield Viscerai into my rune check, my rune box, and I'm going to prepare this and bring it with me, and then bring my favorite map to this that themes with what I'm doing. All those little bits, and then you lose round 1 and 2, and then think,
But I'm not bringing Starvo because I want to win the whole thing.
No,
you're bringing Starvo because it's fun.
Yeah,
and
that's my point. But I'm just saying,
and...
it's all the other little things you just take for granted about why you enjoy going to a physical event and playing some tournaments. Is you bring in all your little
I've got a really nice Starvo load. I've got my I guess it wasn't a Marvel at the time, but basically Marvel Starvo, which is the full art on the back.
Yeah, have you got that? You could bring it. Just have
which
it.
I've not been able to use in ages. So it's just nice to be able to play that game.
That's the thing, and I can actually dig out my first edition non-Coldfoil Skeletor out of the file again, and then I can just grab my Rosetta Thorn Coldfoil, maybe even my Coldfoil Reaping Blade, and I'm enjoying the thought of doing, like, just being
able to
back.
get that,
just even though I'm like, is this a real format? I don't know.
I think it's fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to playing a couple of games, reminding myself of these old heroes, these old matchups that we all used to play, and it's going to be nostalgic. And I think that Hamish is latching onto it. What he's saying is to me, that is the most exciting thing. That's going to be really exciting. I'm not excited about the calling. I'm not really excited about the ProQuest season at the moment. But what I am excited about is playing some dumb Living Legend format, finding out how stupid this format is,
and then with all your friends, with all of us there,
going to side events, winning a bunch of getting a bunch of tokens or whatever crazy stuff they've got at the world's prize wall, and going for drinks with you guys, going for meals, meeting 100%. Up with some of the European people that we don't get to see very often. Hopefully meeting up with some of the American people that we don't get to see very often who've made the journey over, and just having a good time. It's just going to be like a lad's holiday kind of thing, like that kind of vibe. And I said this so many episodes ago. Which was that I've always wanted is like a festival of Fab, like not a calling, not a nationals,
this should
not
be
a like high salt, high pressure, whatever. And for some people it will be that because they'll be playing in worlds. Some people will probably still be like that for the calling, but for me, this is going to be the closest we get to like a lads weekend of Fab kind of.
And we get to root for our friends that are in worlds as well, and just going, how's Jamie doing? How's Matt doing? Oh, he's dropped obviously because he sucks. What about Rob?
Alex watch the. We get to see Alex carry the bloody flag if they still do that flag procession thing.
I think they are.
Yeah, I think represent, and that's going to be great. I think he said he was going to wear the king outfit that George Rogers was.
Oh, was he?
No, he did say he'll wear a push the point hat.
So we've got to get
him a hat. Actually, seriously, we haven't got long. So maybe we would just.
We
probably won't actually saw it. We'll say, Sean, can you bring your hat? Alex, wear this hat.
We'll lend him a hat. We'll have our hats on us. So, but yeah, we're looking forward to seeing some of you guys at home as well. If you listen to the podcast and you don't see us at events like it, we know we have a lot of people that listen outside of the UK or like whatever. So do come and say hi because we would love to speak to you. Just like you'll be really obvious that we're from Push the Point because we're
going to be branded.
Yeah. We also make ourselves relatively known at these things. Well, we did at the calling. We're basically walking around like we own the place.
You'll see these two. You'll hear me.
Yeah, you'll hear Hamish. Yeah.
I was going to say Hamish sneaks up on people. Like you can't tell he's coming.
What?
Yeah. Sneaky.
I usually just run around pounding my chest like a gorilla.
That's what I mean, mate. You're not subtle.
But yeah, let us know. Reach out to us and on Twitter and stuff. And we'll
1,000 followers on Twitter, everyone.
Yeah,
boom.
Oh, there you go. Right, an hour in. Also maybe we should have said something. But
now we were relevant right before
episode 60 and 1,000 on Twitter. Wow.
Doing all right.
60 episodes.
So
crazy.
Before we finish,
yeah.
What do we think about this celebration event in New Zealand?
I don't know. I'm if we're not invited, I don't know.
It's the one that we weren't invited to.
It's the one I don't know. It's going to be. I'll be honest.
As if
I'll be honest. It is for people like us. It feels a little bit. I don't know what the point of it is because obviously it is so subjective that people's like fans. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be.
Well, firstly, we don't know who's invited.
Well, it's not us. Unless they tell us at Worlds and we're like, okay.
I don't think we need to be.
But I don't. There are other content creators that are like have their fingers crossed. They're hoping that Worlds is going to be the announcement. So I don't know whether that's just an elaborate ruse.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Mate, it would,
come on, that's not enough time.
It would be really nice to be invited, but it's also really nice to say you don't have to spend however much money to come to News, unless of course it's all inclusive, which I doubt it will be. So look, if they
flights to New Zealand are pretty expensive.
Even if they did invite us, right, there'll be some other people that'll be like, oh, well, it's just a bit like, oh, it must be nice. Because I know for a fact there are some people that'll be going, I don't know who they are. It's like, why have we got a VIP thing? Even if we were invited, they'll be like, there's a lot of people that do not know who the hell we are. And they've spent money for us to go all the way out there, and the only people who are going to be going, wow, this is really cool, how lucky I am, is the guy that got flown out there. And do you see what I mean? It's kind of just like I don't
these things
know who's winning
just
on this,
like
apart from the guy who's got flown out.
I think it would be, if we got invited, that would be great. If
We
we
would
didn't
never get invited, Trip.
it doesn't matter. Like we've always
we are honoured to get spoilers, and we are very honoured.
We are.
Very
well,
very
it's all about your local community. Like I've heard some really nice things about what people have said, and like in terms of like what we do a lot for the UK Fab community and repping the UK Fab community, and that's really nice to hear. Like you get the occasional
got a little bit of a
comment
voice in Europe. Not it's
but that's what I'm.
To Europe.
These sort of things are just they're a nice. It's the same with the spoilers. It's the same with any kind of like content creator promos that you get. Like they're the cherry on top. But if there's no cake,
not why we do it.
The cherry is just very disappointing, right? Like the community is the cake, and the content is the cake, and all those little things that LSS throws at you are great, but they're not what you.
It's not why we do it.
That's not what you. That's not why you're doing it. No, that's so cliche, but it's like it's true. But that's just the way it is. If you're doing it for that, like, just do something else, man. Like, if that's why you're doing it, just go make money somewhere. Do something else. It's like that. There's so much more you could be doing if you.
What is our rule? Like, what was our golden rule for this channel, guys?
Well, we'd always do the podcast, and it would always be the three of us.
It'd always be us.
And as long as there's
the
podcast,
Monday, talk about the podcast. That is it. That's all we
Everything else
to
is
that
was the commitment, right? Is that we would be like, if we're not like, anything else is in addition to that, and that's always like the golden goose, right? That you don't shoot, which is the podcast, and it's never gonna, like, the things that get the most views. I mean, the views on YouTube are pointless, but like, what I mean, not pointless. Thank you for watching, but you know what I mean. But like, the podcast is what I like, and the podcast is what people outside of Fab talk to me about and think is cool. That's what I'm about.
Get a lot of the love comes from people that take their time to just hear us and our thoughts. But yeah, the a lot of the time the deck text, the interviews are, for me, the most enjoyable part of that is me spending time with the individual and just catching up with Daniel or Yorgos or many other people that we've had a chat with, and it's just, that's the bit that we just really enjoy, and then it translates into, I'm happy that the viewers are taking in this deck tech and they're just looking at it, having to hear what we've got to say. But it's not. It's kind of
not for them. It's
kind of a transaction. The podcast is, that's really where I know that our fans kind of get stuck in, and they really do give a crap. So this is why, and we also enjoy it. We don't do it. We just enjoy it. And we're just still wild people give a shit.
I can't believe it's been going on for nearly 3 years now.
300 to 400 people listening every episode, around those numbers, and that's kind of wild when you think about what this is, which is flesh and blood and a lot of chat. So we appreciate you listening, and we appreciate you guys that mention it and tell us that you like it, and really looking forward to Worlds. Really looking forward to seeing you guys, and just taking, like we always say, we just take every opportunity that comes our way if we think it's a good one, and we always especially appreciate everybody that's joined as a patron and has be really, the stuff that we
love you,
and
we love all of you.
We love you guys. Right, let's wrap it up there.
Let's wrap it.
All right.
Peace.
Oh no, is that it? Are we just gonna say
no, let's keep going. Let's go back in the room. No, okay, goodbye, bye.
We got a bit soppy there. I like it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go and blow my nose.
Wait, have we ended it?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Love you.
Bye. Love you, bye.